nervous. I've been doing all this talking about this podcast, and then with Sam, and I don't know how to act. Hello. Welcome to Talk About It Supa, where I will be talking about all the things motherhood, mental wellness, and beyond for the everyday woman. Get your glass of wine, get your coffee. I'm going to try and make it a commute podcast. Keep it under 30 minutes in Jesus' name. This is my first one. I'm really excited. Let me get my notes up, honey. We're going to get it done. I'm literally, this podcast is just coming together out of nowhere. I was talking to my husband and I said, I want to plan it out. I want it to be and look a certain way, but I don't want to be so caught up on it that I don't do it. So I was like, I'm just going to run, and then I'm going to put the pieces together when I get, as we go. So this is the first episode. The next episodes might not even look like this, but we going to find out. We going to see. We going to try it, and we going to, do our absolute best. So I'm really excited about this first episode. Welcome. Before I get started, I do want to talk about what it's going to consist of. Or let's dial it back before I get into what it's going to consist of. Because I want to just talk about how I got to this point really quickly. So from what I can remember, I was like, I'm telling you, like 4-5 years old, me and my sister, like we would make mixtapes and we would have radio shows. God revealed that to me when I was actually at a Christian radio station, and I was like literally days away from being the drive time host of this radio station. And God said, not yet, because he wanted me to actually develop Super Duper Chris first on my own, build its own passion. This is what I believe. Build its own passion, build its own tribe, mature me to the point where I actually had more to talk about. Because, when I did that radio show, I was like, what is I'm even going to say? And now I can't stop talking. So I'm really excited to transition into podcasting. I decided to transition into podcasting. One, my mother-in-law was a huge inspiration. I actually have produced quite a few podcasts because I have a degree in PR and I have a passion for digital content. I picked up podcasting when I was a creative director at a marketing firm a couple of years ago. And then from there, I've just been kind of doing it on my own because I built that podcasting sector at that marketing firm. I kind of built it. After that, I did my mother-in-law's podcast, which is doing very, very well. And then my husband was like, well, I want to stream. And I was like, I wouldn't mind streaming because, she play Animal Crossing from time to time. But it just seemed like all the pieces fell together because God had given me all this content in December. I have content for the entire year, but I didn't start working on the content till the end of February. So now I'm just going to recycle it really. But I have content for all of this year and then the first quarter of next year. So, oh God, I just feel like sometimes, and this is no way to go against anybody that writes blogs, but I'm a mother of 3 and times get busy. It gets a little hectic from time to time, and it's harder for me to sit down and get quiet time to write. It's easier for me to sit down and get quiet time and talk because she's a talker and she really enjoys doing the chatting. So this only made sense. So here we are. Talk About It Supa. Talk About It Supa. The title itself was something that people used to tell me because, like I said, I've been doing this for a little bit. And when Super Duper Chris first started, all it was Super Duper Chris. She was a visual radio host. Super Duper Chris was visual radio. So my first video, and this is how I knew God was favoring my direction. My first video that I did right after I had to part ways with that radio station, I did a video on Mary Mary. No, I did a video on Tina from Mary Mary. Mary Mary had split and Erica had already had an album out and Tina had decided to come out with an album. And I was one of the first people to report on YouTube that she went to Good Morning America and sang her single. And I don't even remember the name of the single. It was a good single. It actually really resonated with me in that season. So I made a video and it was literally all visual. You couldn't see my face. All you could hear was my voice. And it was pictures of Erica, the video of her actually singing. And then like, hey, follow me for more gospel content because it was literally just like gospel news. From there, I put the video on YouTube and I kind of just left it where it was. And then maybe a month later, I went and checked on it and it had 14,000 views. I cried like a baby. I said, what is going on here? I left it alone because I was so discouraged because that radio show really meant a lot to me. And I wasn't healthy. I wasn't as spiritually healthy as I am now. It was rooted in ego. And it just wasn't a good time. But my feelings were really, really hurt. Not only for the fact that I felt like I lost what I thought was a dream of mine, but then I was hurt by people. And we'll get to that in another podcast. But it was just really amazing to see that God's hand was on my life in this vein. So fast forward 7 years later, Supa Chris is still going strong. She now has a little bit of a following on Instagram and has some blogs and things like that. And now she is transitioning over to podcasting. So a lot of my blog topics I will be talking about here on the podcast. So that's a little bit of history of how we got here. So now I can go ahead and talk about what I want this podcast to look like or what the flow of it is going to be. So the first thing I'm going to do is just update you guys on my life as a mom and a wife and as a woman who's trying to figure things out in her 30s. And, just trying to make it do what it do. So that's going to be one section. And then the next section is going to be something that really says the talk about it Supa thing. Like I said earlier, when I was doing the visual radio, right, there would be topics that people would come to me and be like, talk about this, Supa. Please talk about this. So I was like, why not research? Like, why not bring that name back? And here we are with Talk About It Supa, the podcast. Hey. So my goal in that is I'm just going to talk about something in culture that I feel like I could have a take on, something that might be a little controversial. My opinion of it might be a little off, might be on for some of y'all, you never know. The next thing we'll talk about will be the main topic, meaning what I'm going to share with you for this week. So this week, I'll get to that in a minute. And then we're going to close it out. And I'm going to try and make it as short and sweet as possible. We already 7 minutes in. Lord Jesus be offense. So let's go ahead and do this life update. All right. We are in 2021, y'all. Let me take a sip of my wine right quick. Let me just... So we're in 2021. We made it through 2020. And like a lot of us, I know that 2020 was an eye-opening year, right? It made us finally put a mirror in front of ourselves. We haven't... Because we were forced to sit down for the safety of ourselves and people around us, we were able, I'm going to say, I was able to sit with my emotions. Now, 2020 was a super interesting year because I was pregnant for almost all of 2020. I was pregnant and I actually dealt a little bit with what these folk out here like to call pregnancy depression. On top of the fact that, like all of us, we were very much so caught up on the fact that we don't know about this virus. We know that it's killing people. And then because we live in this world of social and everybody got muscly fingers behind their phones and their keyboards, stating all their opinions, being really vindictive and dark and evil and viper-like, for lack of better words, it was just hard. And then on top of that, we had George Floyd, we had Breonna Taylor, we had that young man that had autism that got killed. Just a lot of, it was hard being black in America in 2020. It was a lot of police brutality. Like literally, I want to say it was like 5 to 6 mainstream fiascos regarding an African American and a police officer. And I'm not finna sit here and list the names, but it was rough to be an African American in America, let alone being an African American in the Midwest, let alone being an African American in Missouri, the very last slave state. When I tell y'all, Missouri has some of the most sneakiest racists I've ever seen in my life. To see people that I went to high school with, people that I went to church with, people that used to be neighbors that are literally racist. Literally racist. Like, how did we miss this? How did we miss? It still boggles my mind. Like, how did I miss that you were racist? How did it completely go past me that you really don't like black people or anybody that's not white for that fact? How did we miss that? And it also led me to the conclusion that even though there was a lot of Trump supporters, and I had to really make sure that I was separating the fact that not all Trump supporters are racist, but it's really, really hard to find a Trump supporter that isn't. That's just my take on it. It was a rough year at the end of the day. It was rough. A lot of friends got deleted. A lot of arguments with people that I never thought I would have. A lot of speaking up. I had to stop watching. I don't know if wherever you are, a lot of our news people will go live and talk about situations in the city. They'll do a live, like our news station will do like a live police chase or something, or they'll do a live homicide investigation, and the newscast will have a camera just on the house where the homicide was. Something crazy. I don't know if you guys as news people do this, but ours do from time to time. And the comments. There was a parade in Kansas City over the summer, or it might have been a Juneteenth parade. I think it was a Juneteenth parade, which we celebrated in 2020. We sure did. Anyway, I think it was a Juneteenth parade, and it was live because the news, thank God, reports objectively. Positive, negative, left, right. The job of the news is to report the news, right? And our news out here in Missouri, surprisingly, reported the news. If it was newsworthy, it was on the news, and they reported it. And when I tell you the toxicity in the comments for this Juneteenth celebration, oh my God. And I'm on a tangent. Anyway, 2020 was a rough year. Wow, that was really, really tangenty. I'm sorry, Saints. In that, I did a lot of soul searching. I came to find out that your girl's inner child is just huddled in a corner, consistently crying, dealing with all this heaviness and this hurt, holding on to feelings of rejection about things that she's really passionate about. Like, I'm very passionate about being free. And I know that sounds so vague and so abstract, but I really was born to be a free spirit. But because of programming and rules and religion, it has made it very difficult for me to just break free from that. And which is why I believe I've had so many mental wellness concerns and mental health issues that I'm finally addressing, praise God. But I've wanted to do things like dance. And I'm very big on music. I love music so much. This is another tangent. I'm a 4, so I'm a feeler. If you guys know about the Enneagram, I'm a 4, so I'm a big emotional feeler. I welcome and embrace all emotions, especially the sad ones, unfortunately. Those are the big emotions. I welcome them with open arms. I welcome them. I want to study them. I want to analyze them. I want to document the feelings in them, the feelings before they come, what happens after, all of that. Anyway, I want to be free. I like dancing. I really like singing, but rejection and feeling like I'm too this or I'm too that has really blocked me from doing those two things. And I told myself in 2021, I'm doing stuff differently. So one life update is that, yes, I know everybody's doing it, and it is the phenomenon during quarantine, but I got some skates. And I was talking to Fago, my husband Fago, about it. And I told him, like, when the skates came to my house, the only sentence that I could get out of my mouth was, I can't believe I got these skates. I can't believe I got these. Because it's so funny how we are able to tell ourselves something about ourselves until we believe it. Like I said stuff like, oh, I'm too clanky to dance, or I'm too clumsy to get on the skate, or I'm too old to be. I used to tell myself, like, especially when I got out of college, I like wearing girly things. Very girly, very glittery, very bright baby pastels. Like, I'm very, very glittery, girly. And for some people, that could appear childlike. And I'm like, oh, I'm too old. I need to dress like this. So I can't do this. I can't wear this. This is too sparkly for somebody like me. And I had to really come to terms and embrace who I am. If I want to wear the sparkles, I'm going to wear the sparkles. If I want to wear the bright pinks, I'm going to wear the bright pinks, and I'm going to be okay. If I want to skate and I want my skates to have light up wheels, which they do, I'm going to wear them. And I'm going to skate. I went to my mom and dad's house this past week. It was my dad's birthday. And I made a promise to myself for the next 30 days. I'm doing 30 minutes a day for 30 days to get comfortable on these skates. And my parents' house was day 2. And I was like, it's a busy day. I know when I get home, I'm going to be tired. I'm going to bring my skates to my mama's house. And I hope she don't get mad, but I'm finna skate in her kitchen for 30 minutes. that's what's finna happen because I'm skating 30 minutes a day for 30 days. And I went over there and all my siblings, but maybe like 2 or 3 were there. And they were like, I hope you fall. They had the audacity to be like, they're siblings. So, y'all know how siblings are. That's just, it's a good first footstep towards the journey of healing my inner child. I was talking to my little sister. I work out with her in the mornings. I've been working out with her in the mornings for the past 2 weeks. That's another thing I've been doing, working out, which is changing my life. And I told her, actually, let me dial it back a little bit. My family, I'm the oldest of 7, right? And we all love video games in our own right. And during this quarantine, we really have gathered and congregated, is what I want to say, around Discord. We'll watch one of us stream, we'll watch one of us play. And during one of the times while we were waiting for everybody to hop on the Discord, we just started talking about a traumatic event in our family. Back in 2002, my family got into a really bad car accident. My dad, my sister right underneath me, and then my dad's firstborn son, the brother. So I'm number 1. Number 2 and number 3 were with my dad, and they were going to church for a night service, and they got into a really bad car accident. My sister almost didn't make it, and the accident left her disabled. And it was 2 days before my 13th birthday. And we had just moved into a new house in the suburbs. So we were just getting used to, on top of the fact that literally we had moved from the inner city into the suburbs. So culture shock, sis. I went from being around a whole bunch of black people. Literally I left from one season. Okay, I'm going on so many tangents. I started my educational career at a Christian private school. Okay. Went from there to the hood, right? The hood of Kansas City, and found what I like to call my cultural blackness. Had I not done that, I literally would be what and I know I hate to do slurs, but I would be what black people like to call an Oreo. I'm pretty much still that. But anyway, I at least got a taste of culture, black culture, when I was in the more urban areas of the city. So a lot of people tell me, oh, wow, Christian, you're really articulate, but you're also very down to earth, because I had the best of both worlds, right? So I started education in a Christian private school, left there, went to the hood, went back to the suburbs. So I had kind of an idea, because I never fit in when I was in the hood. Like, I was devastated in the hood. They were like, why do you talk like a white girl? Why do you always do this? And why are you so sensitive? Because I was nurtured and coddled in a Christian private school for like 3 years of my education. And then I went into the city, So anyway, so I have a little bit of a a very little bit of a black edge. Anyway, we moved out into the suburbs from the hood, and I was transitioning from being this wannabe ghetto girl back into the suburbs, and I really felt out of place because the black people there had been out there their whole lives. So I looked ghetto to the suburban black kids. Mind you, I was proper from jump, but was immersed in the hood for about a decade, then went back out to the suburbs. Just complex, just very complex. Anyway, it was a very difficult time already moving out into the suburbs. And then our family gets in a car accident, right? And then I had to deal with, listen, if you don't know about this, I had to deal with the white man hero syndrome. This is a thing. If you guys don't know about this, this is a very big, this is a phenomenon. Look it up. It's like, I want to say, I don't know if it's overt or covert racism. It's one of those. But it's literally where white people will try and give and love, or quote unquote love, a minority because they feel superior, and it is a hero complex that they have. Did y'all know about this? It's very real. I went to a church as a young adult that I felt the hero complex left and right. It was terrible. Hero complex everywhere. Oh, you're having a baby. Here are all these clothes for I know that they're not new, but I'm sure you need them. Oh, do you guys want to take the food that's left over from our event? I know you guys seem like hero complex. They didn't ask anybody else if they wanted to take the food home, they just asked the black family. Anyway, another tangent. It's a lot of unpacking in this podcast. I apologize. Anyway, my family got into this really huge accident. And I was the oldest, right? And it was 2 days before my birthday. We're bringing it back. We're bringing it back. I'm sorry. This is how it is for me. I apologize. I'm a very tangent-y person. But family got into this car accident 2 days before my birthday. And I remember my mother, she brought me a piece of cake or a little cake. She sang happy birthday to me. And my sister was in a coma. She was tasting death, literally. And my mom said to me, happy birthday. I need you to be a big girl because you're a teenager now. I had turned 13. I was turning 13. She was like, you're a teenager now. You're a big girl. I need you to be a big girl. And as I'm older now, I realize that because, one, I'm the oldest. And y'all know how that psychology of the oldest kid wants to be the poster child for mom and dad. They want mom and dad to be really proud of them. And I'm working on this with Cadence. But I was like, okay, I'm going to be the big one. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be the tough one. I'm going to be the strong one for my family. And that's when I adopted the title of mom number 2, basically, and I was talking to my siblings about this in the Discord, and I said, I never really got to grieve our family accident. I never really got to grieve it. And I never really got to, from that point on, I made the decision to be somewhat of an adult, and I stopped exploring the things that I really liked and became a very selfless person, in my opinion. And now, so I've been momming. Listen, I know I have 3 kids, and I've been a mother for 8 years. But sis, she's been momming since 2002. She's been a mother for 19 years. Let's unpack it. She's been a mom for 19 years, right? And I used to pride myself on being, mom number 2, but it was a lot of pain that I was suppressing. And now I'm in this season of, I want to get back to what I want to do. I want to be a kid. I want to heal this kid that went into a shell to become what she needed to be for her family. And starting off, I'm skating, and I've also picked up my husband, my amazing, wonderful husband, saw that my back was giving me so many problems after my second son, after my first son, my second child, that he finally got me a chiropractic appointment. I went to the chiropractor this week, and honey, my life is different. It's different. This is the first day since the chiropractic appointment. And when I tell you, I used to live, I put this on stories on Instagram. I used to live in anxiety, and I am free as a bird today. And today has been big crazy, but I have yet to experience the symptoms of the fog or the anxiety. And I'm telling you, man, if you deal with anxiety, if you deal with any emotional issues, give chiropractic therapy. I don't even want to call it. Give a chiropractor a try. Let's just say that. Because my life has changed. I have another appointment next week at 4 p.m. And you know who's going to be there early? Me. Anyway, so that's the life update. So sorry it took us 30 minutes to get through the life update. Jesus. So this is going to be an hour-long podcast. Welcome. Hopefully they won't be this long. It's just mainly because it's the first one. So let's go ahead and get into a little bit of culture. So my husband brought this to my attention. There is this viral, we don't do memes as much anymore. Memes are a thing, but we're all about the TikTok and the reels. So there's this viral TikTok /reel going around where they got the T-Pain song, and it's like wives are like, when somebody addresses my kind-hearted or my soft-spoken husband, And the women, the wives, are pushing their husbands out the way and saying, talk to me, I talk back, with the lyrics of the T-Pain song, buy you a drink, oh, I'm gonna take you home with me. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So me and my husband were talking about this, and he was like, you know that this thing is going around. And he was so cute about it. He was like, you need to talk about this, Supa. I was like, you know what? Let me get in here and get on this microphone. Anyway, so he brought up a really interesting point, that it's funny that, because it only seems that women of color are doing this. I've only seen women of color doing this. But why is it that us as women feel as though we have to defend our husbands, when in all actuality, the husband is supposed to be the protector? He's supposed to protect us. Why is it that even though these men are kind-hearted, in quotes, and soft-spoken, in quotes, that we feel like we have to defend our defenders? What's that about? We were just digging into it, and it was like, let's make a counter meme. Let's make a counter video about it, and to where I actually do the talk to me, I talk back, but then you tell me, no, I got it. When did we? And I think that this goes back to, our trauma as Black people, Black women, where we feel like we have to protect our men. And this is a generational trauma. That's what they call it, a generational trauma, right? And it's funny that it's showing up in nonchalant social media posts. It's just something to think about. So I know you guys have seen it. Y'all be scrolling and seeing it. It's funny. It's cute. But the way that God designs a marriage, it's supposed to be the husband is the defender. There's no reason for us to defend our husband. Does that mean we don't respect him? Absolutely, we're supposed to respect him. But sometimes it almost feels like if we don't allow him to be in that position of protection, that it's a disrespect to him. Think about that. Anyway, let me go ahead and get into the main topic. I'm going to make it real quick. And we're talking about work from home mommy essentials, because I know that we've been in quarantine for basically a year now, right? It's been a whole year. It'll be a whole year next week for my family, when my family went on lockdown. We went on lockdown on St. Patrick's Day. So a lot of that time was me just crying and praying, trying to get through my pregnancy. But in the second half of this quarantine, I've been, momming 3. My baby boy is now 6 months, and I've transitioned back into working from home. And now my husband is here at home with me. And I have a few things that I really suggest and want to share with you guys on how to maximize your time and decrease your stress as you work from home. So I have a few essentials that I want to share with you really quick, and then I'm going to close it out. Okay, here we go. All right, so here is where I'm going to have to pull out my sermon notes. That's what I used to call them on YouTube, my sermon notes, to make sure I stay on track. I'm going to make this really quick so I can get out your hair and help you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll be back next week. Yeah, I know. Anyway, I don't know about you. And let me just say this. Even though these are work from home mommy essentials, I'm going to just say that these can be essentials for anybody that is working from home. I don't know when they're opening the world back up 100%. I know that the vaccines and stuff are happening. And I'm not going to get into any more tangents. I'm going to try and keep it streamlined, because I will talk about these vaccines. We're going to do that another day. But it's really important to have things in place in order for us to be as productive as possible. And I know that you guys have probably heard or read or watched a list on how to be productive while you work in quarantine. But I wanted to make sure that you heard my take on it as a mom of 3 who sometimes suffers with a little bit of anxiety and whatnot, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things that I want to share with you that have helped me as a working mommy during this quarantine, and trying to also make sure that my 7-year-old first grader is also on track and I'm able to spend time with the littles, the one that's in pre-K and the one that's 6 months, while maintaining my sanity and keeping my stress low. So one of the first things that has helped me during this quarantine work is a Google Home or an Alexa, right? So what I have done, and this is mainly to keep me and Cadence on track. So Cadence has Zooms that she goes to. She goes to maybe about 4 or 5 Zooms every day, except Wednesdays. So there was a time where I didn't even have an alarm. And I was just like, oh my God, Cadence, you missed math. And then my poor child, she is her mother's daughter. So sometimes she has anxious moments. And she'd be like, oh my God, I'm not going to remember anything. I'm going to be behind. So we went through about a month of that. And then I finally went ahead and put a schedule in my phone. I don't know why it took me so long to do it, but I finally put a schedule in my phone, and then they changed the schedule. So then when the new semester came, I said, you know what, this Google Home sit on my peekaboo in between my kitchen and my living room. You finna get put to good use today, Google. Google, set an alarm for her morning meeting at 9 o'clock. Set an alarm for her reading at 9:55. Set an alarm for her small group at 10:30. Set an alarm for her math at 1:20. Set an alarm for her specials, art, music, and PE at 2 p.m. Set a meeting for her end of day meeting at 3:30. Because that's how many Zooms she has to go through on the daily basis. So now I'm moving and shaking, and all I got to hear is Google ring a bell and be like, oh, Cadence, it's time for math. Oh, Cadence, it's time for reading. And let me tell you, that has eased the stress of both me and my daughter. Okay? So if I know, I am surprised you are out of the loop. I'll be deeply surprised if you don't have a home AI alien robot in your house. You got an Alexa or you got a Google. If not, ask Siri. Ask Bixby. Them Android. Y'all know y'all Android users got, isn't it Bixby? I think it's Bixby. Y'all got Bixby with an X. Tell Bixby to set an alarm. Tell Siri to set some alarms so that your kids don't be freaking out about missing math. Anyway, the next thing is a laptop table. Amazon got them for like $30. Listen, you ain't got to, some of us can't afford to buy a whole new desk to put in the corner of their bedroom or to put in their kitchen. I work from my dining room table for the most part, but sometimes I just want to sit on my couch and watch my kids run around my living room, and the laptop table has allowed me to do that. It's portable. It was like $30 or $40, and I sit on my couch and I put the laptop table right in front of me and I do my work from my couch. It's absolutely wonderful. So that's the next thing. Another thing is a cute water bottle. I know we sitting at home, we sitting on our butts. If you haven't done a video workout, are you going to work out? If you're not running outside, I know it's quarantine times, right? Get out there and get active. And one thing about staying healthy in terms of outside of getting active is making sure you drink your water. If you get a really cute water bottle, you're going to feel cute holding it and drinking it. I love that my mom, like every time there's a special occasion, she literally gets me a Starbucks coffee cup or a Starbucks tumbler so that I feel cute when I'm drinking. I get so excited to fill up my cute little Starbucks water bottles and tumblers, and I feel cute drinking my water. Get you a cute water bottle, get you a cute tumbler. If you need to, get one of them ones that have the timer on it so you can track your water. Get your water because your skin needs to be buoyant and bouncy and beautiful. Listen, I'm out here 32, and I like to think I look like I'm 25. Definitely look like I'm still in my 20s. And a lot of that is attributed to good skincare. Good skincare. Wash your face in the daytime and the night. Do not sleep in your makeup. And drink water. I know it ain't got no flavor. I know it ain't got no taste. Like, we know this. But it's good for you. It makes your body feel good. And it makes your skin look great. Right? Even if you're not working out, drink your water because it'll do wonders for you. It's a detox, natural detox. Anyway, moving on. The next thing is a charging station. I spent about $30 or $40 at Amazon. Listen, y'all gonna hear Amazon a lot on this podcast. I have a serious problem. They need Amazon Anonymous. Anyway, I bought a charging station because between my daughter's work tablet, my tablet, my phone, the kids' devices. We need a central location for all of the technological devices that we use every day to sit and charge. There were so many times where my husband, he works at a mobile company. He works in a mobile company. So he would get phones. And so he got each of the kids a phone so they can watch YouTube Kids and play their little games and ain't got to worry about destroying our expensive digital products, right? So I need a charger. I can't find a charger. I said, you know what? I'm sick of this trying to find a charger. Y'all chewing on the chargers in y'all bedrooms. I'm finding a charging station. So one, they not watching their phones at all times of the day. I can control when they're on their devices, and when they are done for the day. This is another thing. This is a bonus. My husband has the family lock because they have Android phones. They have the Google Family Link, and they have timers for how long they can be on games. They have timers how long they can be on educational apps, and they have timers for where they can just be on their phones. 9 o'clock is bedtime. The phone shut off at 9. If it's the weekend and the phone goes off, they have to ask for their dad to unlock their phone device because it turns into a brick after a certain amount of time. When it's a brick, you put it on the charger station so mommy can charge it and it can be ready for the next day. Charging station has made our lives so very easy. So the next thing is blue light glasses. Listen, all the blue light that we take, we're at home. All we doing 9 times out of 10, I'm just speaking for my family generally. If we're not outside trying to dodge COVID, then we are inside looking at a screen. Sometimes I read a book every now and then. I ask the kids to read books. Sometimes they read books. Sometimes we have story time. One thing that has helped all of us, I literally ran into a company that wanted to partner with me, and they gave me like 6 blue light glasses. I said, you get a pair, and you get a pair, and you get a pair. Everybody gets blue light glasses because I got little eyes, right, that are looking at screens all day. Cadence is looking at a tablet in Zoom all day. She's doing her assignments on her tablet, right? So it's good to protect those little eyes from that blue light, because you got a blue light from your TV is damaging to your eyes. So the blue light glasses have been a great help for me, not only when I'm working, but for my little ones and my husband. And it's just been great to really focus on our health while we're just taking in all this technology. All right, moving on. A to-do notebook. I'm not talking about a regular notebook from Kohl's or Marshall's or TJ Maxx. I'm talking about a notebook that literally has to-do lists in the lining of the paper. Okay, this has helped me organize so very much. I found mine on Amazon. And if you don't do that, at least get a notebook that has a date. It's a dated notebook that you can put the date in. That way you can remember, on this day I needed to do this. Find some way to organize your life. If it's digitally, I tried the digital planner life, and I've just deduced and understood that it's better for pen and paper for me. I don't know. It's a tactile thing, and I need the pen and paper in order for it to make sense to me. So a to-do notebook helps a lot. All right, down to the last 2. Okay, so the next thing is Cbd Tincture, and this is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. If you are not familiar with me, I'm just going to tell you, I am a mental wellness advocate, so I will definitely be talking a lot about your thought processes and your mindset when it comes to the world. And one of the best ways in terms of intaking something to help you process things for me is CBD. So I will be frequently talking about CBD, cannabis. I don't know how to say it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. CBD. It's the not high version of weed. Period. And I use my CBD tincture on the daily, because sometimes, depending on the client workload and my children, if they're moody or not, sometimes I gotta just take the edge off, for lack of better words. And I'm not finna be drinking at noon. Y'all might chime in. Y'all can drink at noon if y'all want to. But me, I just take a couple of drops of CBD, or I drink some CBD tea. Buddha Tea's CBD tea is great. If you need an alternative for the drops that you can put under your tongue, you can just drink the tea and be good, right? So the final thing that I want to talk about is this wood foot massager. It's a Reflexology foot massager that I received, again, from amazing Amazon. And there was a point in time before I visited my chiropractor that I would wake up, and as soon as I put my foot down, I would have foot pain. And I was like, what is this about? So I went and got me a foot massager, and it has all these weird doohickeys and knobs, and you roll your feet on it, and it has saved me so much. Not only do I use it when my feet seem tense, but I also use it while I'm working. If I have a stressful moment, instead of using a stress ball, I will just rub my feet on the foot massager as a way to de-stress. So it's almost like a stress ball, but I'm using it on my feet. And it also is another way to help me stay grounded when I get very anxious. So if I'm very anxious because I have 2 or 3 things that I'm trying to work on at once, I'll take a moment, I'll pause, I'll close my eyes, and then I will run my feet on the foot massager to focus on the sensations of my feet. And it helps me ground myself so that I can then reorganize and move forward with my day. These things are just things that I think would be very beneficial for you. So let me know if you guys use these already or if you're going to use them at all. Let me know. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the podcast, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. I do want to leave you guys with a little word of encouragement. I'm going to make this real quick so I can let y'all go. For those of you who are like, all right, we're into 2021. A lot of people have their goals set. A lot of people know what they're doing for the year. At least it seems that way. Here I am, lost, and don't know what I need to be doing. What has worked for me is first reaching out, communing, spending time with the source of your goals, your passions. You know, the Bible says that God gives you the desires of your heart. And if you're feeling lost on what those desires are, even how to start thinking about what those things are, I advise you to seek God first. Y'all know, if y'all have been here, y'all know that Matthew 6:33 is my absolute favorite scripture. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. And that's where all these things comes from, my YouTube channel, right? If you're feeling lost, it may be time for you to just sit with God. And this is how I felt most of 2020. I was like, what am I doing during this time? I got this baby growing inside of me. I want to do things, but I'm feeling so emotionally drained and mentally drained. What do I do? So I made it a priority. I'm still making it a priority to spend time with God, because God is the author and the finisher of our faith, right? He's the author and the finisher of this walk, our individual life's journey. And if you want it to be as glorious and as wonderful as it's meant to be here on this earth, your best bet is to reach out to him, right? And let him guide you on what you need to do. You know, the beginning of this year, I've just been feeling like I was a shell of who I used to be. I was like, I don't want to do things the way I used to do them. I don't want to. I know that there's a structure in things and how things are supposed to go, right? But I didn't want to become so jaded and so hollow and shallow and just following the rules on creating productivity and success for my life. I prayed and talked to God. I was like, I want to feel fulfilled every step of the way, God. And that led me to start fasting from social and stop worrying about numbers and stop worrying about who's seeing me, but do it, 1, for him, and 2, for fulfillment. What feels good to you? What feels good? It doesn't matter if hundreds or thousands or tens even see it. Does it feel good to you? You know, this time that I've taken today to sit in front of this microphone and this camera feels good to me. I feel fulfilled. And I pray that as I continue, that God will bless it. And I wish that for you too. I pray that you spend time and communicate and commune with God to where he shows you what fulfills you, because those things that fulfill you are what God has called you to and will bring him glory and will bring souls to his kingdom. If not souls to his kingdom, it will strengthen the souls that are within his kingdom already. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week. Welcome to Talk About It Supa. It's lit. I'm very excited about this. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you listened all the way through. Let me know if you enjoyed it. And I love you guys. And I pray that you listen to God today. Listen to the Lord. Listen to your heart. And just live, right? And until next time, we see you around. Bye.